I mean, I read this and was like, what? Newspapers suggest extremist Republicans to blame for BLM activists charged with attempted murder of Jewish mayor candidate.
Are you serious? And guys, those Democrats, man, they're a bunch of anti-Semites.
Wow. I mean,
not all of them, but a lot of them.
Now, we got to remember this Quintez Brown dude, this guy was accepted into the Obama Foundation of some
that's right.
Some miscellaneous promising stars of the future kind of thing. I mean, that tells you the
star of the future for all the wrong reasons now.
Yeah, well, he does, in fact, as you can see, he's got a portfolio picture right here wearing this stylish orange. I do hear orange is, in fact, the new black. That's what I keep getting. That's what I keep getting told. This is the post-millennial, by the way. After Quintez Brown was arrested in Louisville on charges of attempted murder and wanton endangerment, following the alleged attempted shooting of local mayor candidate Craig Greenberg, no relation to Mike Greenberg, on Monday, the Las Vegas Sun appeared to suggest right-wing forces may be responsible. Brown, God, that's crazy. Brown is a Black Lives Matter activist, and his $100,000 bail was paid swiftly by, you guessed it, BLM Louisville.
And by the way, it wasn't just 10%. He had to come up with the whole $100K.
Yeah.
And he did that.
Yeah. So if you donated to Black Lives Matter Louisville, like I kind of doubt anybody in our chat did, but if you did, it went to bail out this freaking guy. That's where your funds went. Despite this, the Sun writes that the attempted shooting, quote, revealed the dangers of the talk coming from the right about civil war and political violence. What? As to how a BLM activist's alleged attempted murder of a Jewish mayor candidate could be pinned on right-wing forces, the Sun said that, quote, the shooting comes amid a rise in threats against politicians fueled by increasingly violent rhetoric coming from extremist Republicans. Okay. Dude, when's the last time you remember a Republican threatening violence?
I was just about to ask you, man, what kind of right-wing activist groups are actually really out there causing violence? And don't give me the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys only go after Antifa.
Look, okay, I'm so glad you brought this up because I made a lot of videos from them and I about them, and I've had a couple of their members email me, and I'm not going to say on what levels, but one of their tenants on their website before they lost their website was literally condemning any and all forms of racism. That was one of the tenets on one of their commandments in the Proud Boys tenets was condemning all forms of racism.
Right.
All.
And
now, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you this, man. Okay, if you want to say go outside of Antifa, what is the worst thing the Proud Boys have done? Enrique Torrio tore down a Black Lives Matter flag off of a church. That's pretty much it. Not destroying businesses, not attacking people. That's about the worst thing they did.
Do you understand that the only time that they have shown up on any location was if Antifa was present and the liberal George Soros funded DAs and mayors would not allow their police forces to do anything about people getting beat down. They showed up in Washington, and Antifa was up there. Antifa was literally catching people on the street, just walking down the street like couples, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, and were assaulting them, beating those people with bats and shit. And Antifa, or the Proud Boys, did they get fed up? They did. They fed up, and they got fed up and started kicking ass because nobody was doing anything about it. Nobody.
Yep.
Antifa would be arrested, and they put them right back out on the street.
Yeah, you noticed nobody in Antifa really does any prison time, right? But Enrique Tarrio, how long did he go to jail for?
Months.
Taking down the flag?
Months over that Black Lives Matter flag.
Yep.
Months.
Yeah. Patel Ron sits $2. You hear Amazon stop giving BLM money now. Yeah, Rose did a video on this channel on that yesterday.
You know, they really don't know where the hell that money's going. I don't think.
It's a money laundering scheme.
Besides Patrice Cullors' former pockets.
It's kind of amazing, how she started buying $1 million homes after they started bringing in all that cash from the George Floyd thing.
Boy, that was a cash cow for them, wasn't it?
Yep.
I mean, think about that.
Talcomettes got rich too, man. People, I can't believe people actually donating to Talcomettes. Why?
Why were they donating to that MC Search wannabe?
Yeah. What? He's clearly a white dude. He's a fake wannabe black guy.
Wow. I didn't know anybody was donating. What was he doing? What was his excuse?
Race hustling. That's it. He's supposed to be a social justice. He's pretty much like Jamel Hill, but Jamel Hill is actually black. This dude is a white guy pretending to be black, fighting for social justice. And then he needed help moving. So he asked people to donate because he had to move because apparently his address got leaked out of his $800,000 house.
Oh, that's funny.
That was a while ago, but I haven't kept up with him. So
yeah, I haven't either. Yeah. While they note that Brown was, quote, involved in the Black Lives Matter and gun safety movements, and isn't that ironic? He was outspoken against gun violence. And he went in and shot at this guy. By the way, he didn't hit the guy, but he grazed his shirt. Like it actually, I guess, tore fragments out of the shirt. He came that close to hitting the guy. I don't know how the heck that I don't know how he didn't hit him if it grazed his shirt, but it did. And there is, quote, no indication yet that he had any ties to any right-wing organizations. Wait a minute. How many members of Black Lives Matter do you know that would be part of right-wing organizations?
None. Black Lives Matter is on the left.
Yeah.
And these people that are in Black Lives Matter out there on the street tearing up stuff, man, Kamala Harris was bailing these people out. Now, I do believe, folks, that you got very few black people or members of Black Lives Matter that are actually trying to do actual good stuff. There's some, they exist. Don't get it twisted. But the vast majority of them out there to loot and burn and be violent.
They posit that it's the GOP.
And they don't get any. By the way, they don't get any support from BLM Global Network either.
Oh yeah. Well, there's in a lot of these places there's no actual structure whatsoever.
No.
It's just somebody sitting back, I guess, taking in funds on a local level.
Yeah. You remember we did a video on this one guy, BLM guy, and he left BLM because he saw how BLM actually wasn't about black lives. They didn't want men around. I mean, this is a guy that was actually trying to do real good work in the community. And I believe he said they only got like $500 from BLM Global Network after they were raking in millions of dollars. And overall, the whole BLM thing has generated billions with a B.
They interviewed a lot of people in the black community up in Minneapolis, and they said it was people that no longer supported the Black Lives Matter movement, and they were asking them about funds. Have you guys seen any funds from Black Lives Matter into this community? Because that was, and this is never talked about in the mainstream media, but Black Lives Matter was literally burning down black communities. It was black communities that were getting burned down. I mean, I saw interviews out there where they were interviewing a little old black lady who was crying because her Walgreens on her block.
Oh, I remember that. That was so sad, man.
Had been burnt down, and she didn't know where she was going to go.
She said she didn't have nowhere to. That was so sad to watch, man.
Yeah, it was awful, and I was like, "You're literally destroying your own community." They burnt down a AutoZone in Kenosha, and they interviewed a guy, and he said, "I don't understand what we're doing." He said, "This is where us black people were coming to buy our auto parts."
Yep.
And he said, now, if anything, we have to drive out of the community and into a white community or a different community in order to spend money there. They literally took monetary funds away from their own community. That whole thing, man, that was a scam. That whole thing's a scam.
Complete scam. Yeah.
I'm keeping it real. Quote, "We've all heard this with our own ears," they write. "Trump drawing cheers at rallies by suggesting violence against his opponents." Wait, what?
Well, they lost him with that one.
They sure did. GOP lawmakers and candidates trying to whip their followers into a frenzy with talk of taking up arms against so-called forms of tyranny like mask mandates. Nobody has called for anybody to grab a firearm. Not a single person.
Yeah, that's a lie.
That's a out and out lie. Arizona Representative Paul Gosler posted an animated video showing him killing Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with a sword. What? But Gosler did not enter Ocasio-Cortez's office with a sword or any weapon or threaten her physically in any way. We haven't seen hordes of anti-mask protesters taking up arms, rushing politicians' offices. Instead, we saw a BLM activist on Monday take up arms against a Jewish mayor candidate. BLM Louisville bailed him out and claimed that he, quote, needed support. So they're shilling for this guy to get more money. More money. And I lay you odds, GoFundMe would be just fine if they asked for it through there. Would you? Would you think for a second GoFundMe would rip this guy's GoFundMe page down? Because I don't.
No.
If he put one up, they would not take that down like they did those truckers' pages. The Sun notes that, quote, not all these threats are coming from the right, but most were. This is how the media does, you guys. And they claim that this is not, quote, a surprise, given that so many members of the Republican Party are trying to normalize violent speech by routinely including it in their public discourse. What?
Violent speech. Rose, didn't Maxine Waters, who's on the left, call for violence in the streets multiple times, even against Trump? Oh. Anybody in his administration said you get in that face, you cause a ruckus, you get in a crowd, you start a crowd or something like that. Did she say all that?
Wow. I tell you what, hold on. Do you remember BLM activists walking up and down streets at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Telling white people to get out the neighborhood, get out their houses,
to leave their houses.
Yep.
And because their houses should be turned over
to black people.
For nothing.
You don't even have to buy it. Just get out.
Get out.
That sounds like some. That sounds like some Klan type methods, huh?
It sure as hell does. It sure as hell does. I mean, good God! And they were telling them to get out. It was going to be part of reparations. That's why.
Yeah, like they've ever been slaves.